Hope so. All right. We are live. Can you guys hear us? Can you guys hear us now? Testing, testing. Yes. Okay. Woohoo! We did it. There you are, guys. All right. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Technical difficulties as usual, but when you're playing in the quantum space, anything is possible. All right. All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We're going to get straight into this. So we are excited to be here. Brandon and I are in Sydney.
Yay.
And we're here.
This is why we're here.
High five.
Yeah, we made it. We made it back alive.
All right, guys. So, gosh, thank you for holding the fort, Deb. This has been a lot of fun so far. And look, under enormous amounts of pressure, what forms? A diamond. Under a lot of pressure, a seed under the soil's pressure on the seed as it goes towards the sun creates this beautiful flower and plant. Ooh. So pressure is required for incredible things. All right, guys, so we are excited to share with you the Truth of Healy. We are going to go through this whole presentation. It's probably going to be about 45 minutes. And by the end of it, you'll walk away understanding everything there is to know about Healy, how this works, the benefits of it, the science behind it, and the story of the company and how this came to be in our lives. So I'm really excited to be here. A really quick snapshot of who I am. I was brought up in a very healthy household. My mum is a naturopath, and my first stepdad was a yoga teacher. Second stepdad was a psychotherapist. So I grew up in a very holistic household. But growing up, I didn't have many. I had a lot of health challenges. Right, so I had allergies, acne, asthma, and I felt a lot of when I was growing up throughout high school, I struggled to fit in. I wasn't very good at school, and I had low self-esteem. And to make things worse, I was bullied and picked on and teased, and felt really that primary school sucked for me a lot. But I was lucky enough to have my very first mentor at 17 years old who helped me with fitness and nutrition. And at 17, I got super passionate to implement these little strategies around health and wellness and mindset that I started to implement into my life that got incredible results. And I got so passionate about it that I used to burn documentaries and hand them out at my high school to educate friends and family. You guys might have seen the documentary Zeitgeist or the documentary Earthlings. And so I wanted to educate people on the monetary system and the food industry, and it just hasn't stopped. This sharing nature of me, I just want to help as many people as I can. So I started a YouTube channel, right? I got into acting and film and TV work, and then I started doing health and nutrition coaching and traveling around the country doing whole food events and workshops. And till 6 months ago, Healy popped into my life through the same mentor that I had at 17 years old. And so this has been an absolute whirlwind. It's connected so many dots for me in terms of my own health and wellness. It's amplified pretty much every area of my health, as well as deepening my spiritual process and my own spiritual journey going within. So, and so many other incredible benefits. So that's a little bit about my snapshot of who I am. I want to introduce Brandon. Brandon actually used to work with Tony Robbins. He is an incredible business coach. He and I met when we actually started doing co-coaching. I was health coaching him. He was business coaching me. And we've now lived together. We're next door neighbors and we're business partners. And he is one of the most humble, passionate, high vibe people that I know. And what better person there is to share Healy with you guys, because he's had a Healy since one of the first in Australia, and he's been able to help hundreds and hundreds of people over the last 6 months. So thanks for being in your own room.
Thanks, bro.
This is his place.
This is the launch pad. Yeah, we've been on a bit of a trip ever since we left the journey to uncharted territory, so to speak, especially with everything got to do with COVID. So I guess this last 6 months has been kind of a bit of a whirlwind, because obviously when promoting live events, especially for the man Tony Robbins, not really the kind of space to be in right now, especially with COVID and all that. So with everything got to do with, I guess, how we got here, it's like, wow, it's been a bit of a trip in of itself. But just to give you a bit of a snapshot as to, where I came from and what I have done over the years and my particular journey, just as a snapshot to give you some idea, my upbringing was quite similar to Zac. I was bullied as a kid. I didn't have a high level of self-worth. I was naturally introverted, shy, and anxious as a kid in social environments. Yet I thrived off practicality. Like, I was really good at trumpet. I was really good at anything that started with doing things. So whenever I got my hands on things, I would naturally figure things out. And business came as a byproduct of that. I started my first business when I was 15 in the math class that I was failing. And it was literally, it was kind of unique that it was a party, considering that everybody considered me as one of the uncool people at school. But I went to a party, and you know what? I was like, I want to do what they do, but on a boat. And originally it was 50 people. It ended up being 850 people that turned up to that party. And it completely dissolved my own beliefs that I'm not good enough, that I'm dumb, that I'm not, I'm not actually smart, And it was like, well, I am smart. I am actually good at what I do. It's just I'm different, and it's cool to be different. And I thought being not like everybody else was the thing. So for me, I kind of broke through some early beliefs early on, and that took me to being able to start my own 6-figure business. By the time I was actually 16, we did that event 3 times. Do the math, 150, 30 to 50, $150 per ticket. That's what got me on the path. So I ended up eventuating into a more of a, I guess, the nightclub scene as a natural byproduct of that. But within that, I started to learn a little bit more about psychology and people. And then I started getting introduced to mentors as I started to climb the ranks and built a 7-figure business. And at that point, I was at the highest of my career, but I was feeling so low because I felt like I was selling out. I felt like I was not really fully living a path as people talked about in these seminars I started going to. And so I actually went to my first seminar when I was 22, 23 to Tony Robbins. And this is when I started to learn about spirituality. This is when I learned about psychology. This is when I started to learn about success and the chakras and all the rest, and how and everything is energy. And I started to open up my mind as to what was really going on beneath the surface. I started to open up my mind as to what's actually possible beyond what you see, especially in the nightclub scene where everybody is just materialistic. So I started to walk a path, and I started to make different decisions. But as I started to make these decisions, I would go back to my old environment, my toxic environment. And so it took for me to actually, it's kind of like the bigger the goals you set, the bigger the setbacks you must endure. I decided, you know what? I want to awaken an entire generation. And it's just like my logical mind didn't know how to do that. So I went on this path of learning how to be a coach. And it came across being kind of like essentially having the whole foundation of my life being completely just disrupted, where I hit some low points, where I was starting to really start to open up to new areas. I met Zac when I went a year sober. And this is when everything changed for me, when I started to call in a new way of being, new way of health. I was just like, how can I get myself to a point where I can be of that energy to serve? And when you start to ask these kind of questions, things start to pop in. And I guess how I came across Healy was when I was run down. I was giving all my energy to everybody else but my own purpose. And I was not really living in alignment. I thought I was chasing the money, but I really was just not really being who I wanted to be. And these dreams I kept holding on to about awakening an entire generation was like, how am I going to do this? Now, enter Healy. Healy was actually a device that, literally came into my hands at the point where my very world was being kind of crushed. And to give you some idea, the background story for most people who haven't heard about this story is I found out, I went to America, I came back, I brought home a partner of mine. And maybe I'll let I'll give you the background story, how I found out about Healy, but then we'll tell the exact story as well. But I actually I found out about Healy when I was going through the toughest period of my life. I was living out of home. I was living with Zac. I was working, all this kind of stuff, but my mother didn't actually accept my girlfriend that I brought back from America, and she basically kicked her out. And I went along with her, and I moved into the Raw Cave with Zac. Now, when I found about the Healy, I was like, I heard about there's this device that scans chakras. And Zac literally came home, which is like, bro, this is a device that scans chakras. I was like, what? Are you serious? I just had the most biggest fight in my life with my mom, and I hadn't spoken to her for a year. Now, to give you some idea, and I'll let Zac like carry the rest of this, but it was like divine intervention. So for the people who are jumping on this, if this is like divine intervention where you're kind of at a crossroads, just like I was 6 months ago, a lot can change with the power of what this device can do for you, because I'll let Zac actually talk a little bit more about that, and we'll get back into it.
That's it. So what we're going to do, guys, is, as I said, we're going to go through these incredible stories, these testimonials. We're going to go through the Healy, how the microcurrent actually works on the body, the science and the history, as well as how to get started with Healy, as well as the support that our team has behind the scenes. And so let's just get back straight into this. So as Brandon was saying, you know, he had just had an experience with his mom. He was kicked out of home for a whole year, and it was quite a challenging time for him. So when I found out about the Healy, I told Brandon, I told my girlfriend at the time, I told all my friends and family, my mom, I was like, guys, there's this device that scans chakras. I was like, what is this? And I called a bunch of my close friends. These were like bioresonance practitioners. These were biohackers, you know, entrepreneur friends of mine. And they were like, I don't believe you, but I'll come along and check it out anyway. So I literally said, hey, guys, the only time we could do this is at the beach at 6 a.m. in the morning for a sunrise. So they got out of bed in the morning, and we dragged everyone out of bed, and they came in the morning. So we did a scan, and that's where Brandon's scan blew his socks off, as we say, as well as my understanding. And it was realizing that in this short moment, as you can see, his body language was like pulled back. I literally pulled the camera out as he's like, what the is going on here? And do you want to share a bit of what it actually brought up?
So for everyone that's looking at this, like, okay, what is this really going on? So to give you some idea, I had just got off the phone, and then Zac the next day literally told me about this device that scans chakras. And knowing about energy, I was thinking, well, is this going to pick up on this stuff? Like, me and my mother have had the hardest relationship I've ever had. Like, you know, $150,000 of going to these seminars. Everything that came up was all about, you know, mother-related stuff. It's like, when is this ever going to end? You know, it's like an onion layer that I just had to keep on peeling back. So by this point, I hadn't been really getting coaching. I was kind of like going on my own path. I was like, I wonder if this is going to like pick up on all this stuff. And so I banished that thought instantly, went and saw the sunrise. I don't really see the sunrise much. And so I was like, this is a big commitment, especially before work. And I get my first scan, and it gave me a list of things. And then I did a bit of a healing with the vibration setting. And I was like, let's check to see if that worked again. And then it literally popped up. The second scan was in my heart chakra, and the reading gave the person feels like his mother's love came at blackmail and control. I was just like, what the, like, and the very conversation that I had with my mother a week ago was that if you don't dump your girlfriend, you are not accepted in the family. And I left that conversation going, you know, I politely told her to get, not very politely at all, to be honest, but it was lots of swearing, lots of like hanging up and like, screw this, I'm never going to see you ever again, all this kind of stuff. And so when it came up with that, I was like, whoa, like this pointed in 30 seconds flat what I've been trying to like get to the bottom of over the last, 7 years in personal development. Are you serious? And so I thought about that. I went home, I went away that night, and I was like, if this device can do that in 30 seconds, what else could it do? You know? And so I looked at it, was like 2-week money back guarantee. I got to get my hands on this. This is no intention whatsoever. I was already on my path. I was already doing Tony Robbins stuff. I was already doing coaching. I was already doing like another social selling model. And I was like, I'm strapped. I just want this for me. I had no intention in sharing this. But as I started to find out, as I started to equip myself with this tool, as I started to do the scans and do the readings and do the frequencies on my ears and all that kind of stuff. But by the time it came to Christmas, which was my biggest fear, I was not going to spend Christmas with my family. Within that 2-week period, it showed and shined a light on things that I would pay a coach to give me this kind of readings. Like I've invested $25,000 into a coach. And they've been telling me the same kind of stuff. And so I was looking at this going, what the hell is going on? And I'd give the frequencies and it would run depression programs and anxiety programs. And I would literally be running this as I would start to, like before I need to get on the phone with my family that I'd been avoiding for a year. And I kid you not, it was like a coach in my pocket that was giving me the empowering information that I needed to get back in the driver's seat of my life. And needless to say, you know, my mother's very old school in some ways. She's Filipino. So this is not the only time that's happened where it was like Christmas time. I was afraid of what would happen last time, which is beg and kiss my feet and beg for forgiveness in front of the family. And I was a man enough to be able to say, you know what? This is enough. Me being here is enough. I'm sorry. I love you. Thank you for everything. Please forgive me, all this kind of stuff. And we had Christmas together. It's like the gift that saved Christmas. And so that was when I started to realize the power of this. I was like, okay, the only thing that ever changed was a Healy that came to my door. So what is this really? And then I started to look at the science, and then I started to look at the technology, and then I started to look at everything that is going on in the world right now. And I started to look at all the people out there that is, you know, suffering a rude awakening right now. We can all agree. If you put in the comments below and say yes, could you guys agree that we are going through tough times right now? Like as in the very structures of society is literally crumbling before our eyes. And could we also agree that this is probably a reflection of what's going on inside, what's happening out here? Could we agree that? Because everything, you know, this is a holographic universe that we're living in. Everything is a reflection of what's going on inside of us. And so what if this very device could actually be the tool that gets and heals humanity, that could be the change we wish to see in the world, so much that we take charge of our own energy so that we can actually heal the world? What if this device could actually do that? I'd like to pose that question to you, because what you're about to discover could actually answer that question. Now, the one question I would like to ask you to follow up on that is, who has been on a spiritual awakening or a spiritual journey? If you have, and you are on this webinar, I guarantee you have. So put in the comments if you have. But what I'd like to ask you is, if you had to go through that awakening all over again, I gave you a list of all the things that, all the stuff you had to go through, all the setbacks and challenges, and all of these things that you had to like leave behind, would you even begin? Some people will say yes. Some people say no. Some people say maybe. I would say I would do it all over again, but I would do it quicker. And one of the biggest things that people have looked at this device is, is this spiritual bypassing? No, I think this is spiritual acceleration, right? This is awakening and integrating the acceleration that we need as a community to heal ourselves, to heal the world. So with that in mind, who's excited? Who's excited? Because this could very well be the one thing that changes your life, just like it's changed so many other people. So I'm going to get Zac to come back on, actually give you the descriptions, all the things that I dived in. He's going to compact it into bite-sized chunks so that you know exactly what this thing can do from a snapshot. Because at the end of the day, this guy's actually helped me so much with my health. Like, I feel like I'm the healthiest and therefore the wealthiest person I've ever been in my entire life. We're day 2 on a fast right now. And so this is my inspiration in terms of health. He supported me when I needed it the most. And he's just the kindest human being I've ever actually met in my entire life. So you guys are in good hands. Can everybody just go, "Yoo! I'm excited for Zac." Chop it up in the comments below.
Thanks, guys. Love it. Love it. And so let's get into this. Let's get into the science and really how this thing works and why this is blowing people's minds and spirits wide open for good. So I'd love to I'd love to like let you guys know that literally when I saw this story and I heard Brandon have this reaction, as you can imagine, if you share something with someone and they have that reaction of like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, you're going to want to buy one. So I literally went home that day. I ordered my Healy. I waited like so long for this Healy. Like patience was was tested throughout this period. It finally arrived and I got home. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then from that point, I just thought, hey, what would this do for others? What would this do for me and what would this do for others? So I went on a rampage, right? I literally was scanning all my friends. I went and scanned Larry. He's 87 years old. He had an amazing result with his ears. He found that literally with the ear program, the anxiety one, he was starting to see the signs across the road more effectively. His vision was starting to improve. And that was really cool. I was like, wow, he went through a pretty stressful week that week. And he said he really needed that help. My friend Johannes runs ice baths, and he uses the device, and he's used it throughout his biohacking journey. My friend Nicole, a theta healing specialist and meditation specialist, she loved it, as well as other friends throughout here in Sydney. As you can see on the left-hand side, you can actually use this on pets. A lot of people are using it on horses and animals in their farm and things like that, because obviously they are also influenced by frequency, even plants as well. And so I just went to scan. We went to an event. We hosted our own events. We did a Buddha bar, which is like a white party on New Year's Eve. We've integrated it into Unlocked, which is a yoga event on Bondi Beach, as well as our self-care Sundays. That's Brandon here meditating on the side. And so we just integrated it, and time and time again, all these amazing results. So even for myself, it came up with my scan, things around thyroid, things around digestion, things around sleep, anxiety. And within my scan was talking about some emotional parts of my life that were so specific. And then we ended up going to the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival. My little brother and I went to Japan. That's us in the middle. And all these biohackers and health professionals. My mum at the bottom there, she's a naturopath. She loves it and integrates it into her bodywork sessions and before saunas and before her naturopathy client sessions as well. And so with this, I started to ask some questions. I was like, how does this actually work? You know what I mean? Like, what is going on here? And so I found out that this is designed by a German company called Time Waver. Okay, they've already been using this technology for over 13 years in Germany and over 40 countries with 2,000 practitioners. They have 2,000 practitioners globally, and they've been able to help people with all types of illnesses and health goals. And they decided to compress the technology from a 20,000 euro machine to a 500 euro machine. So they've compressed the technology, and now it's wearable, it's portable, and we don't need to actually have a practitioner with us to use this. We can use it every day, indoors, outdoors, between whatever you're doing in your life to support your body energetically. So my question to you guys is, what are you wanting to improve in your life? Right? What health goals are you working on? What health challenges do you need some support with? Or who are some other people that you know that also need some health support right now as well? So with that, we took it down we went across the border. We went to Queensland. We had events. These were COVID friendly, of course. And our broth night event, which is really the whole vision of what we're doing, is reuniting, reconnecting, and recharging the tribes. Right? During this crazy lockdown period within the world, we've decided to unlock what people are going through and reconnect with the truth of what's really going on here. We went and did a massive tour. We had multiple events. We met over like 200 people in a span of a month. We were supposed to be gone a week. And just the reception is just so inviting. Everyone who opened up their minds and their hearts and their homes for us, I'm just so grateful to be on this journey with every single one of you. And so it's all about collaboration. I really believe that we are all superheroes in our own life. We are kind of like, I would say that you might only be one of the only empowering, positive people within your community. And sometimes it's hard when there's a lot of people who are toxic or, negative around you. And so what Healy is doing, this is like the honeypot. It's bringing together all these amazing minds and hearts and souls to come together as a force for good. If all these lighthouses come together, shine their light together as one force for good, imagine the ripple of change that we're going to create. And it all comes down to one thing, and that's what Healy's based on. It's energy. frequency and vibration. If you look at Nikola Tesla, the man that lit the world, his incredible inventions for free energy, for example, these are changing the world. And we and Healy backed a lot of their research on what Nikola Tesla did. So let's get into the nitty gritty and how this machine works. Before we get into it, just to realize in Europe, this is a class 2 medical device. Okay, in Europe, the disclaimer is it's a medical device for the treatment of pain and chronic pain, fibromyalgia, skeletal pain, and migraine, as well as for the supportive treatment of mental illness, such as depression, anxiety, and related sleep disorders. Now, a lot of what we're going to share with you guys is kind of cutting edge, right? These are fundamentals, but these aren't seen as normal, right? They're definitely outside the box of understanding of how we understand the body to work. But in America, just so you know, it's FDA cleared as well. And so in Australia, the classifications will be coming soon. This is still just launching in Australia. It hasn't officially opened. And so let's talk about frequencies for a second, right? Let's just, as a classification, let's just say good and bad frequencies. Let's say bad frequencies are things like radiation from our phone, you know, X-rays, 3, 4, 5G radiation, power lines, things like that. They are unharmonizing, disharmony forming frequencies to the body. That's a bit of a mouthful. And then there's good frequencies like grounding, connecting your body to the earth, the sunlight, good quality food, structured water, hugs, following your passion and purpose. These are frequencies that heal the body, right? And so the Healy works on the frequencies on a cellular level through what's called microcurrent. And so in life, this is a graph showing the cell voltage within our body. And so we all have the ability to thrive, right? Our cells have a specific negative and positive charge that allows the cells to function and communicate effectively. Now, over time, we age, right? There's toxic thoughts that form in our body that cause illness. There's toxins in our body that cause illness, you know, and there's trauma and there's injury to the body that cause illness. And it changes the cell voltage over time for inflammation, aches and pains. And over time, you have, you know, the cell dying, right? This is every day. This is life stresses. And we do healthy practices every day. I'm sure you guys are quite healthy. You do your healthy food and exercise and live a healthy lifestyle. These help change our cell voltage, okay? And so the Healy works on the exact same premise in helping raise the vibration, raise the frequency, or balance the positive and negative charge of our cells. And when you do that, you start to reduce inflammation. You start to reduce aches and pains. And this is where all these incredible testimonials are coming out for pain reduction. It reduced TMJ tension injury that I've had for over 10 years, 80% of the pain pretty much gone within a short period of time. Even some CrossFit injuries just dramatically reduced in like one session. You know, it's helped me with anxiety and stress. And I thought of all the people out there in the world right now relying on painkillers, relying on, you know, antidepressants. You know, obviously they have a place in society, but if someone's wanting an alternative, you know, for something like that, you buy this once and you and the whole family can use it to integrate frequency therapy into your home to remind your body and your family that we have the ability to self-heal. Why wouldn't you want to be involved with this? And I thought, oh my God, all the people out there relying on these pharmaceuticals and all these people struggling with mental health issues, the ear clips dramatically help my mindset. They keep me calm, relaxed. My sleeps have gone deeper. I'm then more energetic the next day. And I find I'm more balanced and emotionally stable throughout the day. And so I don't worry about the past or the future as much. And it's keeping me in the present moment. So I'm so grateful for the Healy. And really a lot of this science has come from Robert O'Becker and B. John Nordenstrom. If you guys want to do a bit of research on the science, if you are a doctor on here or you are a health professional, look into their research. I've actually got one of their books, Body Electric, okay, by Robert O'Becker. And so literally this guy was studying salamander lizards. And this is actually the most mind-blowing experiment I've ever seen. Salamander lizards, if you cut their arm off, it actually regenerates. The salamander lizard has an ability to regenerate its limb. But if you look at, say, like a frog, the frog doesn't have an ability to regenerate its limb if it's been cut off or injured. And so what they did is they pinpointed the salamander's electrical charge that it created to regenerate itself. They got that electrical charge and they stuck it onto a frog's leg that had been cut off, and they saw what happened to the frog's leg. Guess what happened to the frog's leg with this electrical charge? it started to grow back. Was it perfect? No, but it started to regenerate. The same concept is when they have plants, two lots of plants. One plant's plugged into the ground or in the soil. One plant has then been lopped and cut off and connected to a certain electrical charge. The electrical charge plant grows 3 times quicker than the normal plant. And so there's an electrical charge that every single reaction in our body works on. Every reaction is an electrical charge. And if you can get and pinpoint the healthy electrical charge within our body, you can actually help facilitate a healthy bioenergetic field. And that's giving our body the best chance for success to heal. And so within doing that, the Healy works on the physical, mental, emotional, works on the meridian lines, which is the Chinese. They've known about energy lines of the body for thousands of years. It works on the chakras, the bioenergetic field, and also learning. And so the Healy does 2 things. Really simply, inside of here is a crystal and the quantum processor based on their 20,000 euro machine. They've compressed it, as I mentioned. And this, literally, by holding it here, figures out what's out of balance in the moment. And so like my little brother, 18 years old, he has a little bit of acne. So it came up with his scan, skin programs and acne programs. It literally pinpointed what was out of balance in his body. Another friend Rob, he had a back pain, it pinpointed back pain, or another friend who had some eye issues and it pinpointed eyes. And so my question to you guys is, what health goals or health challenges are you going through right now? I wonder if it would actually come up with your scan. I'm sure it will. And so within that, once it pinpoints what's out of balance, it then directs the frequency back to the body through wristbands. So you clip it on here, or through ear clips or sticky pads into the body. A couple of the programs that Healy have all around energy, relaxation, releasing tension out of the body, staying present with being and balance. They're great for meditation. Care is for the immune system. You got Pure for reducing toxins out of the body and environmental toxins. And so depending on which Healy you purchase, they start at 500 euros. Then there's 1,000 euro, 1,500 euro, 2,500 euro. You get access to more and more of these frequencies. So whether someone has jaw pain or back pain or wants to improve their memory, their concentration, for students, for exam stress or stress system, fitness for muscles. I went to the gym. The next day, muscles came up on my scan because my muscles were out of balance. So how I see the Healy, guys, is pinpointing with the scanning ability. It's pinpointing what's out of balance and then directing frequencies back to the body to bring me back into balance. And so it's kind of like when you go bowling for the very first time and on the lane, you put the roller guards up to stop the ball going off. So Healy is kind of like putting the roller guards up to stop your ball going into the gutter. So in life, this is what it's doing. It's keeping that momentum moving forward. Even the scanner has the ability to pinpoint what's going on in the body before we know about it. My friend had tonsils come up in her scan. She was like, I don't have a sore throat. I don't have anything wrong with my tonsils. Then that evening, it came up. In that evening, she had a sore throat and started to get sick. So it pinpointed what's going on in her field, because what shows up in our field shows up in our body. Even another friend had a sore wisdom tooth. Sorry, she didn't have a sore wisdom tooth. For 3 days, the scan was coming up wisdom tooth or jaw local. For 3 days, it kept coming up, but she'd had no pain. On the 3rd day, she woke up with a mass amount of pain in her wisdom teeth coming out. So it pinpointed the pain 3 days before it was actually coming up and showing up in her body. So talk about, helping support the body through times of stress. You then have programs for sleep, positive thoughts, all the skin programs. How many of us are relying on, skin creams and lotions? Are we wanting to reduce some fine lines and wrinkles? There's programs for skin elasticity or nails or aging or scars on the body. There's programs for mental balance, for meridians. I had a friend who had a sore back and it came up kidney meridian. It didn't come up back pain, it came up kidney meridian. So they ran the kidney meridian and I think Pure or something like that, and it did something to the body that allowed the back pain to free up. So just because you might have a back pain, it could be another energy system. Our body is an incredible circuitry combination of incredible systems working together. And in this example, his kidneys and the Pure program was needed to help release that back pain, right? And so our body is totally connected. In terms of even allergies, eyes, what else do we have here? Intolerances, toxins. Brandon has an incredible allergy story. you know, I'll get him to jump on, but literally went in Melbourne, we had a past life regression, and this lady for the session, we were there for a few hours, she had cats, and we're both allergic to cats. So we started to get itchy eyes and skin, and our throats were just so annoying. So we ended up running the allergy meridian, and the allergy meridian helped us dramatically. And I'll pass it over to Brandon because it ended up getting, next level after that.
Yeah. So anyway, when I tell this story, always it's interesting because my experience when I actually came out of that past life regression, like to give you some idea, my eyes were bloodshot red. I wish I took a photo, and also my nose was just like clogged. I was like, oh my god, all right, this. Because obviously when you're in a past life regression, you're not really conscious, but when you're coming out of it, you're like, oh, okay, I'm back in my human body. So I looked at the mirrors, and as I was looking at the mirror, going, oh my God, what am I going to do? Just kind of like putting water on my face. Jamie, who's the person that introduced the Healy to Zac, he was staying there where we did that session. And he's like, don't worry, bro. Like, because he's got he had the allergies as well. Just put the allergy meridian on. And there was this certainty in him knowing that I was just like, it's totally going to work. I'm like, well, all right, I might as well give it a shot. You know, I'm only 1 month into using this device. I haven't used all the programs. So I used that within 20 minutes. I would like my sinuses cleared and my eyes were clear again. I was like, whoa. And so I found I was going to be there for another 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So I kept running the program. And it was about evening at this point. We're going back to Sydney. We're in Melbourne. And so Zac had gone before me, and he was already at the hotel, had dinner with his dad or something. And I rock up, and first of all, as Zac lives, because like there's no blue light at night, the whole hotel was basically dark. So I'm like, okay, yep, Zac's definitely here, but the TV's on. So I sit down, and he's got this tub of ice cream. I was just like, yes, ice cream. So we started deconstructing this past life regression. I started chowing into this ice cream. I was like, what is this? Is this like peanuts or something, or walnuts? I don't know, it can't be peanuts because I'm allergic to peanuts. And because I've never tasted this before, it's like, this is amazing. Chocolate and some sort of nut. Anyway, I turned on the lights about halfway through, and you'll never guess what it actually is. It was peanut butter and chocolate Ben & Jerry's ice cream. I'm like, I'm an anaphylactic. I've never tasted peanuts in my entire life because every time I tasted peanuts, I would get an allergic reaction. So I was like, whoa, what the, like, crazy, right? And so I didn't get an allergic reaction. What I did get later that night was this sensation in my throat, this numbing sensation. And it reminded me of the time when another friend tried to kill me. Another friend actually, accidentally fed me peanuts in a smoothie. And it was at this retreat. Anyway, thank God, one of my friends, I got this allergic reaction. One of my friends actually got some essential oils, knew about how to use essential oils with allergy reactions, chucked 2 drops of lavender and 2 drops of peppermint down my throat. Within 5 seconds, it was gone. And it was this exact same numbing sensation. I was like, whoa. I was sitting there lying back in my bed going, I have essential oils on tap. And so since then, I've had a bunch of allergic reactions to peanuts. One was the other week. I was like, I think there's peanuts in it. It was like, nah. It was like, yeah, I'll check. I'm like, don't worry, Zac, I've got the Healy. And lo and behold, there was peanuts in it, but ran the allergy meridian for 5 minutes and it stopped swelling up. So I was like, this thing's crazy.
That's it, guys. And just to remind you, the Healy's not designed to cure, prevent, or treat anything. This is just helping your body get back into bioenergetic balance. And when our body is in balance, the body can do incredible things. So there's also that story is just amazing. And there's multiple stories like that. We're going to get into some of the testimonials in a moment. In terms of chakras, all the chakra programs are there. If you're wanting to help stimulate a more balanced flow of energy throughout them, you have all the protection programs. These are for electrosensitivity from EMFs, from the geopathy, all the frequencies in our environment these days that are quite overwhelming. They have helped me stay more grounded and calm when I'm working working around lots of technology, as well as Deep Cycle, which is all about this is released 2 weeks after you get your Healy, and these are extra deeper programs for kidneys and calming and different applications. And so just to recap, with the Healy, there's 144,000 different frequencies. Okay, this is not like a tens machine with 100 frequencies. It's 144,000. Quite a powerful number, that one, in different texts on the planet. In terms of the sensor, it's a quantum sensor, and it's application based. So it's connected through your phone, through your iPad or tablet, and you can use it anywhere, multiple times throughout the day. They recommend 3 programs a day. Just drink a couple of glasses of water with every session. It connects through sticky pads, through ear clips, and through the wristbands as well. These are my new ones. These are awesome, actually, quite stretchy. And so with that, another amazing quote I want to share with you. The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all the previous centuries of its entire existence. As you guys know, there's this shift in understanding of how the body works. The ancients knew about it, right? The philosophies of self-healing and knowing that we have the ability to regenerate ourselves is there. But there's obviously lots of advertising and distractions these days that take us on a different path. And so really within this, the man that made this possible for all of us to be using Healy was Marcus. This guy was the inventor of Time Waver and then Healy. He's written 25 books. He has his own Institute for Consciousness. He gets high-end physicists and mathematicians and spiritual leaders to come and talk about how we can move forward and raise the vibration of the planet. His vision is incredible, to raise the vibration of the planet. Okay, now in doing that, how do we raise the vibration of the planet? Imagine every single day, we've only got 100,000 people using Healy right now. All these people are becoming more self-aware, self-conscious, more in touch with what's going on their inside, and using frequency therapy to support their body, as well as all the other healthy practices. And within our community, we're all sharing other healthy, holistic approaches too. And so with only 100,000 people using the Healy right now, imagine in a year's time when there's 1 million people, or in 10 years' time when there's 100 million people using the Healy, all becoming more self-conscious of what's going on in their body. Imagine the ripple of change that's going to create for the Schumann resonance, the resonance of the planet. Times are changing, and we all have the ability to move this forward and actually to integrate and share this with the world. But Marcus was the guy that created it. He then partnered up with Nuno Nina. He's already been using frequency therapy for over 15 years throughout Portugal. He has multiple clinics, and he's been an expert on this for a very long period of time. So their machines look like this. It's a massive box hooked up to a computer. It's not portable. It's clunky. Another naturopath friend of mine on the Central Coast, she has a frequency machine that's 20,000 euros. 20,000 Australian dollars, right? And so that machine, clients would come in to see her once a month. But just like going to the gym once a month, it's not enough. We need to move, at least 2 or 3, 4 times a week, and maybe every day move our body. So the same thing is with frequency therapy, integrating these microcurrents to support the body's natural bioenergetic field. So instead of having a practitioner, we now have this portable machine paying only 500 euros. In Australia, it's about 800 Australian. The top machine is 3,500 to 4,000 Australian. We're integrating that into the body and into our lifestyles. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of so many advances into where this technology is going, because this is kind of like the iPhone 12 years ago. This is generation 1. So you can imagine this is going to evolve, and there might even be additions to this that make it even better. And so a lot of other practitioners that are behind Healy on the scientific board is Caroline McMacken. She's been using this frequency for sports rehabilitation and injury prevention. She has some amazing testimonials, and she's on the science board. She is pretty much the godmother of frequency therapy. Healy have then also teamed up with these other practitioners. If you look at some of their credentials, they're homeopaths, acupuncturists, naturopathy experts, phytotherapy, which is herbs. You've got energy medicine practitioners, epigeneticists. This is a holistic group of people. The people behind Healy are incredible and amazing. So this gave me a lot of confidence to realize that there's a lot of backing in the synergy and the holistic approach of what Healy are doing, because there's not one silver bullet to everything that heals the body. It's about a combination of working in a different, multiple opinions and points of view and studies that support our healing moving forward. And in terms of blood analysis, if you look at, there's some videos on this online as well. Within a 1 hour session, they use the immune system program with the Healy, going from sticky, unoxygenated, dehydrated, low energy vibe blood in 1 hour with the immune system program. It creates more flow, more energy, more vitality, more nutrition through the body. And that's just with the electrodes here. So that was one of the studies that was done as well. If you want to know more about the studies, there's a manual called the Healy Manual. At the bottom of the manual, you have all the studies and all the references to the peer-reviewed research and the gold standard of research that they uphold. So if you want to look at frequency therapy for mental health issues, as we mentioned briefly, mental health challenges are a pandemic as well, an epidemic, throughout the entire world. And so there have been amazing testimonials for people with autism, for example, and their parents and their carers are finding that it's improving their state dramatically. And so if you want to find out some more of these testimonials, there's a group on Facebook, the Healy Experience. There's literally thousands and thousands of people who have shared their results, whether it's pets' results or their kids' results or their own results or their friends and family's results. There are literally thousands and thousands of these results. Just in the last 6 months since this has been created, people have been sharing from all around the world. So if you don't take our word for it, put up, do your own research, put your own time and energy into this, and you'll see that there are just, so many testimonials for better energy, better sleep, better skin, deeper releasing of tension and pain out of the body. Like, it just goes on and on and on. So, I'd love to hear from some of you who are on this webinar right now. What is your favorite program with the Healy? What are you running right now? And what has been some of your results so far? What's your testimonial, so to speak? Would love to see that in the comments. And so, just so you guys know, as you guys can agree, when you love something so much, you just want to share it with other people, right? That feeling that you get when you contribute to the world and you come of service and someone has an amazing result and comes back to you going, thank you so much for sharing this with me. That feeling is an everyday feeling for us. And this is why we're here. We really want to impact concept into their lifestyle. And so if you are out there, if you're wanting to connect to this community, we have training and everything that goes hand in hand with wanting to share this with the world, whether you're a practitioner, whether you're a health practitioner, whether you're just a mum or a dad, and wanting to integrate this into your household or share this with some friends as well. We're teaming up with Healy, and we're also looking for other people to team up with Healy as well.
Yeah, with that in mind, it's literally not just an opportunity anymore. It's a responsibility. It's a responsibility in and of itself. And looking at the world and what we're doing and how this is actually contributing to people's missions, again, this is a co-creation. This is a co-creation to help people truly awaken and integrate this energy, and looking at this as an opportunity. From that lens coming in, like, I saw the opportunity there and then as soon as I started to see what it did for me. I started to see the opportunity of, well, how can this be a vehicle that can give me leverage to be able to reach more people? And within the space of how many months? 6 months, we've already blessed and awakened the lives and homes of over 2,000 people within our, during COVID, during a complete shutdown of the planet. And so that tells me that this has got to do with timing. Like, this is the right time, because when looking at this kind of modality, I started doing the research. This has been around for since the 1930s. So why is it that something that's been around for the 1930s, we only starting to hear about it now, coming through this type of model, through a social selling model where it's network marketing, where it's literally spreading the tentacles far and wide? Because at the end of the day, every time that this got released, it's got successfully squashed 3 times. That's a mouthful in of itself. It got squashed successfully 3 times over the last almost century by big pharmaceutical companies. Now, why is that? Why would that happen? Well, we're not very profitable if we're healthy, are we? In fact, the most incredible, most scheming pyramid scheme on the planet is taking one pill, and then you have to actually, for one dis-ease, and then you have to take 2 more pills to help support with that 1 pill, and then you have to take 4 pills to help with that 2, and then all of a sudden you're on an array of pharmaceutical drugs, whereby we're living in a world where we literally have the power to self-heal. And so when you're looking at this is a blue ocean. If this device actually gets into the hands of 100 million people, what would that do for the planet? How would that disrupt a $1 trillion industry? Multiple billion-dollar businesses, in fact. This will disrupt every monopoly. And if you look at the blue ocean, there's a book called Blue Ocean Strategy. The reason why they call it blue ocean versus a red ocean is a place where all the monopolies are coming in. They're all these big sharks and whales. They're competing on price, and they hold that market, and they dictate what the market does. With a blue ocean, it's a completely fresh ocean. It's a completely fresh opportunity for people to actually plant their flag. And when I looked at it, I was like, well, what if this device could actually literally bring together all the healers, all the coaches, all the consultants, all the network marketers, everybody to come and to band together for one cause, which is cause humanity, where we're talking about the exact same thing at the root cause of everything, which is energy, frequency, and vibration. And if you think about like Amazon for a second, Amazon, the founder of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, talks about his success. The one thing is all about timing, because this is a category creator. There's no competition whatsoever. And this is backed financially by a conscious billionaire that's literally leading this movement, to the point where I use Amazon very strategically, because Amazon actually tried to purchase Healy. And the fact that Healy won't sell tells me that, if you want to look at how the company is going to pan out, the fish stinks from the head down. And so when you think about that, the very fact that the leaders won't sell, they keep the integrity. They want to keep their impact to them, to the point where they're hiding these scientists in these castles and these villages, these frequency villages in Germany. It gives us a space where we can think about, well, for the first time in the history of time, there's a company out there that is for people instead of for profit. Obviously, profit is the lifeblood of the business, in any business. I see so many people like, oh, this is about selling something. No, this is about sharing something that can truly impact your life. Like, what would that be worth if it actually just took you from that one thing that's actually causing dis-ease, disharmony, stress, anxiety? What would that look like if your life and the people in your life could actually get access to this kind of technology? What would it look like if you were actually you could actually get the power to self-heal? I'm sure there's something in your life that you're looking to improve right now as you sit down and watch this webinar. Just like me, my number one crutch was actually my number one gift. But I had to heal the part of me that was holding on to that attachment, holding on to that aggression, holding on to that control that was manifesting in every other aspect of my life. Once I started to heal that, everything changed. And that's why I can successfully say that I am living my most healthiest and wealthiest in life right now because of just the product itself. Now, if a product could do that, what do you think that's going to do for the world? What would it do if 100 million people had this in the world? The fact that this is a first-class medical device in the network marketing space, this could very well change the network marketing game. And that's why we're here. I'm bringing my conventional senses, my ways of doing business, organically, to actually change how we perceive this whole industry. Because once we get rid of that block, the world is going to change as we know it with this. Well,
the crazy thing is, Brandon and everyone, this is disrupting massive billion-dollar industries.
Yeah.
Skincare, health, fitness, all those different programs for everyone, whether someone's a busy professional, whether someone's a sports or a student, right? And this is just the beginning of how it works. So, the only people that cannot use the Healy are people who are epileptic, people who have a pacemaker, children. They don't recommend children using the Healy unless the parent has the discretion. It's up to the parent at the end of the day. But as a company, they cover their bum, as well as people on heavy medication. So always talk to your doctor and health professional before using the Healy. That's always step number one. And so this is disrupting so many places in the world, and this is the future. There's even people that buy watches now that have a frequency for one frequency for sleep. It's 500 US just for one frequency, right? The Healy has 144,000 different frequencies. And also you can't use it if you're pregnant. That's also, thank you for the reminder. And so when purchasing your Healy, this is an investment, okay? If you don't like it after 14 days, as soon as you receive it, you have a 14-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like it, send it back, get your money back. If you love it and you want to use it for you and the whole family, you have it forever, right? If you ever need a replacement unit, if you ever need to replace, like you lose this or, you know, break it or something like that, in 2 years, they give you a replacement unit. But after the 2 years, I think it's like 300 or 400 Australian dollars to get a replacement unit. And then you always have access to the software. It's all the same hardware, right? It's all the exact same hardware, just different software updates. So the Gold program, the Gold Healy has access to about 20 different programs. The Holistic Health has access to 50 different programs. The Holistic Health Plus is all 120. Now, these first 3 machines don't scan the body. The only scanning machine is the Healy Resonance. So the Healy Resonance also scans for Bach flower remedies, amino acids. It scans your chakras, does the emotional scan that Brandon was talking about at the beginning. This is what most people start on because it gives a thorough self-analysis tool, as well as all the programs as well. So that's, you know, it depends on which one you want to start on. You can start on a lower one, the Gold program, the Gold Healy, and then upgrade later on. You just pay the difference. And so there are some financing options available in some countries. Here in Australia, we have one specifically, but we do recommend you can just, you know, buy a lower model and upgrade later on as well. And so within doing that, when you first purchase your Healy and start as a member, you have what's called a fast start. So this is a bonus. It's a time-sensitive bonus. So if you go and share Healy with 3 people, you actually get upgraded to the next model. So for example, if you started on a gold model and sold 3 in your first 30 days, which is actually 60 days at the moment, they've extended it. If you sell 3 of any of them, you get upgraded to the Healy Holistic Health. If you sell another 3, you get upgraded in the first 60 days at the moment, you get upgraded to the Holistic Health Plus. If you sell another 3, you get upgraded to the Healy Resonance. Now, I started on the Healy Resonance, guys, and I sold 3 of these, so I end up getting a free Healy. So if you start on the Resonance, the top model, depending on which country you're in, that's the exchange rate, it depends on the exchange rate, and you sell 3 of them, you get upgraded to the next model. That's now for the first 60 days. That's because there's a couple of delays around the country with stock because of COVID. But that's pretty much it, guys. When you get started, how it works is you talk to the person that invited you to this webinar, and we can get you started. You go through their link and you join the team, right? We have ongoing support. We have a business portal, lifetime Q&A groups. We have a practitioner chat as well as the customer chat. And there's so much support. We have team calls throughout the week. We also have this webinar. Okay, this webinar is every Tuesday, Sydney, 10:30 a.m. time. And so this will be the same next week as well. So if you are wanting to invite other people to this webinar, feel free to. The link that you got registered through this link is the same link that we'll use next week. And so everyone that's on this recording now will actually get a recording in 3 hours of this of the webinar. So whether you attended it or didn't attend, you'll get a recording, as well as over the next couple of days, we'll also be sending you some more information on the science and how Healy works. And if you're wanting to get started, talk to the person that got you involved with this link. So with that said, guys, look, at the end of the day, knowing doesn't change anything. We can know the next step to take, but if we don't take that first step, nothing's going to happen. And so the cool thing about what we're doing is we do everything as a team. You know, you're joining our team, you'll be here with us. We'll be literally coaching you one-on-one and in group settings. And so every step of the way, you know, we've only been doing this 6 months, and, you know, we have this amazing team. And now, you know, everyone gets access to what we've learned on our journey to accelerate your learning, your growth. And so whatever your health goals are right now, guys, whatever your health goals are of your friends and family, imagine this is that thing that actually helps to transform your life and your friends and family's life. Like, this is the real deal. And so I look forward to seeing you in our groups. I look forward to seeing you on some of our trainings. I look forward to seeing you next week here as well. In terms of the questions as well, what have we got here? Yeah, the fast start is only until the end of this month. The programs and frequencies are patented? Yes, that is correct. Another question people ask is around the Bluetooth. So the Bluetooth, once it's programmed, you can disconnect. You can disconnect the Bluetooth, then there's no Bluetooth. In terms of the privacy, this is a military-grade encryption process and master key, so all the information is private and confidential. And yeah, all that is explained in the Healy manual. So I look forward to seeing you guys later. Any other final comments?
Look, it's like you said, the difference between knowing and doing are worlds apart. It's fundamental. To know and not do is to really not to know at all. So just because you know of this technology, just because you know of frequency therapy, doesn't mean it's going to change your life until you actually jump in. So with everything, there's no risk. The only risk is actually not taking the risk, because what could this do 6 months from now, 3 months from now, a week from now, once you actually get the device? What could actually happen when you actually come in? If you've been spending the time with us, if you've been spending this time now, I guarantee, I know for a fact that there's something going on in your life that this could actually be a game changer for you. So let it be a game changer. If there's anything that's coming up around that, that's the psychological tension that's getting in the way. Above all else, this has completely changed our lives and alter our lives forever. To me, that's priceless. So I guess to ask you and leave you with this, what is this really worth to you? That's it.
Thank you for your time, everyone. Look forward to seeing you soon. Have an amazing day. Mwah.
See you guys.